Good evening, everyone, and welcome to The Fights, Episode 2. And right now, you are watching the tag team of Andy Brown and Jim Logan entering the squared circle. A tag team that has only been together for about a year now, but has made a real impression on the wrestling minds and fans all over the wrestling world. Andy Brown and Jim Logan, a fearsome duo. And these two men look like they were built to be together. And we will find out tonight, as the proof will be in the pudding, when these two go up against Jervis and Darwin, about to make their way to the ring. Folks, you are watching The Fights. My name is Christian Cole, your commentator for the evening, and there you see it. Jervis and Darwin. Seems like a match made in heaven to me. The entire mood of this building has just shifted. There is a contrast between the darkness and mean streak of Andy Brown and Jim Logan for what you see now. Jervis wearing that new mask. And I talked to Jervis earlier about his haircut, how long his hair has gotten, and he said, you know, my barber is closed. So, pretty obvious why he hasn't cut his hair, but he looks great. And it'll be Jervis Cottonbelly and Darwin Finch facing Andy Brown and Jim Logan in our first ever tag team match here at The Fights. Justin Borden, our veteran referee, making sure to check Darwin. It seems like Logan taking exception with the gear or with the gear that their opponents had. Now, it'll be Logan and Jervis starting this match today. And I'm not really sure what to make of what Jervis Cottonbelly is doing. Bit of a distraction and a tickle. And Logan is not stoked about that at all. Opposite of stoked. A couple of words between the two competitors before they lock up here. Collar and elbow tie up. And they're tied in good. Jervis with a little tickle under the chin. Tied up once again. Arm wringer. And Jervis trying to control the action, but he eats a huge forearm there. Jervis Cottonbelly is on a quest to be taken seriously. He is not a joke. But the more I watch him tickle this man, I feel like he can't help himself. Oh, beautiful roll there. That's a 2 count, almost 3. This match almost ended as quickly as it began. Logan expressing some real frustration there. And for the opponents of Jervis Cottonbelly, I think a lot of people have difficulty figuring him out. You're not sure exactly what angle he's going to come from, what his exact modus operandi would be in any given wrestling match. Just as much of an entertainer as he is a competitor. Beautiful cover there, expressing his true wrestling acumen. Of course, Jervis Cottonbelly trained by Drew Gulak. Trained by a slew of incredible professional wrestlers out of Chikara. And that includes Orange Cassidy, one of Jervis's sensei, so to speak, as Jervis now on the canvas after eating that big elbow. And Andy Brown successfully executes a tag, comes in, and Andy Brown is nasty. If you've never seen Andy Brown, you are in for a treat. He has spent a couple of years training at the New Japan Pro Wrestling Dojo. Andy Brown, of course, a former Heritage and television champion at Championship Wrestling from Hollywood, and it seems Jervis wants no piece of that. He's going to let his tag team partner, Darwin Finch, get a little taste. It seems to me that there may be a test of strength in order. And forgive me for chuckling, folks. It's difficult not to when you hear a grown man make a noise like that. Wow, that was actually pretty innovative for Darwin Finch to actually roll out backwards and get out of that test of strength and goes right into this abdominal stretch. And you can see the body of Andy Brown is bent in a way you shouldn't be bent. All of the pressure on that right side of his rib cage, and hip toss right in the middle of the ring. Andy Brown looking like Khalil Mack on Thursday Night Football, and goes to dig in with that elbow but misses. This match so far back and forth. Look at that. Beautiful by Darwin, goes right into the arm drag. And Darwin now, head full of steam, goes into the corner, but he's caught. This is trouble. Andy Brown, though, cannot get something executed there. Darwin able to fight out. Darwin with another arm drag. Darwin, leg sweep there. Takes his back. Oh, beautiful cover. Thought he was going to go for a submission there. Instead decides to put the shoulders down, but only able to get two. Darwin smartly, front chancery, brings him back into the corner. But Andy Brown is a fighter, one of the toughest dudes as a shoot I know in this industry. This dude, as nice as he is, can beat the shit out of anybody. I'll take him dollar for dollar over anybody, but right now he's in trouble. And it's Jervis. Oh, man. Andy Brown able to fight out, but no, it looks like Jervis got the better of that. Cover there, 2 count. I have to tell you, folks, this building is smoky as hell. I'm having trouble even seeing the action from my broadcast position. But that's part of the allure of the fights here in Burbank, California at JLFX Studios. After the craziest year we've seen in my lifetime, it is just a pleasure to be back here calling professional wrestling with a roster full of some of the best talent we've seen in our industry. And Logan just digs deep with that clothesline, smartly goes in for the cover, holds the face down almost as a sign of disrespect for his opponent, and goes right in for the submission. If he's not going to cover him, if he's not going to get the 3 count, he's going to try and make Jervis tap out, but that's not going to be an easy task to get accomplished. I mean, Jervis, of course, a former Championship Wrestling from Hollywood tag team champion. We talked about his training at Chikara with Orange Cassidy and others. And Jervis, feisty, able to fight back. Jervis now, he's caught after he goes to the ropes, though. Backbreaker, nasty, right on the spine of Jervis. You could see all the wind taken out of Jervis there, man. I mean, he has got to be hurting, as Logan, who goes over 230 pounds, was able to dig that knee right into the back of Jervis and tag his partner. And Andy Brown is going to pick up the scraps. Jervis Cottonbelly's in a bad spot, but able to flip out. Beautiful tag there. Jervis able to get to his corner. And Darwin Finch now looks to fight back against Andy Brown. Man, nasty forearm. Tries to go for the kick to the midsection, does Andy Brown. Hits the opposite rope there, does Darwin Finch in for the cover, hooks the inside leg. Not enough leverage there to get the 3 count. Andy Brown, one of the bigger competitors on our roster, and it's filled with strength and muscle. I mean, this guy is built like a bulldozer. Darwin able to fight back. Oh, man, that's nasty. Falling from about 6.5 feet in the air straight into the back of his neck is Darwin Finch. And Andy Brown, noticing that he did some damage to the back, looks to add some more punishment. Andy Brown has been isolating the back of both of his opponents so far in this match. We saw earlier tonight, Andy Brown drop that nasty backbreaker on Jervis, who's still on the outside feeling the effects of it. You could see him stretching his back out there. And now the tag team resume cover here, that's 2. The tag team resume of Logan and Brown starting to show. I mean, these 2 guys doing some tag team maneuvers. They're really starting to figure out a way to be successful as a tag team. And And I think the best part of their future is actually ahead of them, and tonight they're showcasing exactly why. Logan, Irish whip, just throws him nasty right into the corner. And Logan goes in, but he eats an elbow from Finch, who's looking for any way to fight back. And now a foot. Oh, man. Head full of steam, but eats a nasty clothesline. Does Darwin Finch cover, count, and only 2. Goes right back in for the cover. You can see that Logan wants to make quick work of Jervis and Darwin. Jim Logan making a big impression these last couple years on the Southern California industry as he tags out to Andy Brown. I mean, Logan has been responsible not only for his work in the ring and how vicious of a competitor he is, but has been a great help to some of the talent here in the area with the studios that he produces and the stunt coordinating that he's doing. And Jim Logan, a prize to everybody in this industry here in SoCal. But right now the focus is on his partner, Andy Brown, and that big elbow to Darwin Finch, and that's a 2 count. Justin Borden right there to see the shoulders, whether or not they were down. And Andy Brown, you could see Darwin Finch just trying to get some air in his lungs. And Andy Brown doing everything he can to slow down the feisty Darwin Finch, a man who is so intent on proving himself as a competitor to be taken seriously, much like his partner Jervis. I'm telling you, man, Darwin Finch is never out of it as he just gets dragged down a horse collar tackle there from Andy Brown to Darwin Finch. And the back of the neck area has to be killing Darwin Finch right now. He's taken so many nasty bumps on the back of his head during this match. Able to come out of that powerbomb positioning. And Finch, look at that. Incredible by Darwin Finch. Finch looking to fight back. Is this the moment for Finch and Jervis to come back in this match? Justin Borden looking at a double down. If these guys stay down for 10, he will end this match. But right now he's at 4. And Andy Brown just trying to grab the ankle, the sole of the boot of Finch, but Finch makes it anyway. And here comes Jervis, and here comes Logan. And Jervis now, elbows for each of his opponents. Jervis ducks the clothesline. Jervis is nasty right now. I mean, this is a different Jervis Cottonbelly than we've seen in the past. Russian leg sweep by Jervis Cottonbelly. And now look at this, Logan comes in, and Jervis had no idea that Logan was behind him. And with all the smoke in the building, I'm not even sure who's legal at this time. I'll assume that it's Logan. Logan, Irish whip. But Jervis able to float over. Look at the agility of Jervis Cottonbelly. Delivers that elbow, digs right into the neck of Jim Logan, who's now caught up on the ropes. Jervis to the opposite rope. Jervis, beautiful flying elbow. And Logan's in big trouble. I'm not sure I've seen Jim Logan in this type of positioning before. Does a lap around the ring, able to tag in Finch. Finch coming in from behind. And Darwin Finch looking to go high risk here. Up to the middle rope. And Darwin Finch. Cover, count, and broken up by Andy Brown. Darwin Finch with that elbow that we saw from the top middle rope positioning. And it's Brown, and oh my God, man. Nobody delivers an elbow like Andy Brown, who just ate one for his money right there. These two teams are so evenly matched. And he's looking to go for after school here, but he eats a super kick from Logan, who was in a perfect position there. Logan and Brown, they send Finch to the opposite rope. Finch ducks a clothesline, but he's up now. Bad spot for Finch. Oh, man, nasty roundhouse kick from Andy Brown, and a beautiful driver there. And that's it. Bell is ringing, and Jim Logan able to get the 3 count, and Andy Brown and Jim Logan have won this match. What a performance we saw here tonight from Andy Brown and Jim Logan. Man, I mean, these guys are 2 of the toughest dudes we've seen. The fights, man, they really encompass the definition of the fights. Andy Brown and Jim Logan, adorning all black tonight, came in here and created a funeral for Jervis Cottonbelly and Darwin Finch. We'll be back with much more here on The Fights.